Show Me the Money with Dave Bartoo, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Bet 50 at the Golden Moon Sportsbook. Play award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $40. Hell of a week one. Now we embark on week two. College football, week one of the NFL. This is the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone ESPN. And this segment is also brought to you by an ice-cold Stella Artois. Order some wings at Mama and M's at the Golden Moon, and then order a Stella. Or wings at the Sportsbook and a Stella. You'll be happy. Dave Bartoo on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line. How's it going, buddy?
Dude, it's going good, man. Why should I even be back on this show right now? You know, I mean, it was our mic drop week with Vanderbilt winning and covering against Virginia Tech at home. We should just call it good for the season, I think.
I agree.
No, that was fun, and I do love talking sports betting for college football. Who else is going to watch Syracuse and Ohio unless you got plus 17.5 on it, baby?
And by the way, that for our listeners, that covered. Ohio only lost by 16. So all of my bets covered. I took Vanderbilt, I took Stanford, and I took Ohio. W. So that worked out well for me.
I think, and that was all underdogs covering. All underdogs. I think there's a lot more favorites this week that I like.
All right, well, let's start off with game one that you like.
Well, I don't know if it's game one, okay? And just for everybody listening, I don't rank these and this is my favorite bet. You know, this is my 4-star bet or 5-star bet. I don't believe in that crap, because if you lose one bet where you bet 5 times your regular limit, now you're screwed. Yeah. You are so far behind. So I'm just an even unit guy. But speaking of underdogs, though, let's stick on the underdogs. State on the road. Open, catching 4.5. I'm looking at the board right now. State's catching 6.5.
Yeah.
You're almost a touchdown dog on the road. You can't lose this game. I mean, this is you're on the road. This is the number 69 high school recruiter over the last 4 years versus the number 32.
Wow.
Can't lose this game. Can't lose this game. I don't believe in their OC. And their DC isn't that good either. Obviously, for State, you got a new DC and an OC that's really called 25 games now. But we're catching 6.5 on the road with better talent. So I'd say wait. Let's see if the line keeps moving. I like where it's going because, like I said, you were catching 4.5 on the road in Tempe to open the betting on Sunday. We're up to 6.5 right now. And if I look at the trends, let me see if it's popped 7. Let's see if it's actually got up to 7 at all. If we look at the line movement, I don't see where it's got up to 7 yet. It's at 59.5 on the total as well. I wouldn't mess with that because I'm just unsure what we're going to get out of these teams. And I know both of them scored a ton of points last week, but look who they were playing. So
right.
let's not get too far. Let's not get too far over our skis on that. I like Mississippi State at plus 6.5 right now. I think that is a really solid bet. And I don't mind waiting to see if it gets to plus 7. Now, the thing is, Timeout Lounge, I doubt they're giving you plus 7 on State, at home, in your state.
No.
So you may just have to roll with 6.5 and call it good. But, to kick things off today, let's keep rolling with the dogs. And I do like the dogs as a dog this Saturday.
So you like the money line and you like taking the points?
Something, if I'm recommending to somebody, I don't like the money line because I don't see a clear cut. Because remember, we got talent, right? So I expect them to win this game off of talent, but it's on the road. So we have a location disadvantage, and the State coaching staff is so new. I don't have a beat on them, right? I know that I really like the running back coach, and I know I really like the quarterback coach a lot. Okay. But other than that, a lot of guys in new positions. So I don't have a feel for the staffing. So I'm really, like I did with Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech, both those programs really didn't change their staffing. So I was pretty sure I knew what I was getting out of that football game. This one, I'm just less sure. So if I'm actually recommending somebody, I'm not saying take the money line on that one. I don't blame you, right? Because you got the talent edge. Should win that football game. I don't feel that, they should be an underdog in this game. But at the same time, just from a risk standpoint, I'll just take the points and just kind of let the state staff evolve before I start taking the money line as dogs.
All right, Bartoo, Show Me the Money, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. You're listening to 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, and it's also presented by an ice cold Stella Artois. All right, Arkansas at Oklahoma State. So one of your favorite coaches, Gundy.
Yes, one of my favorite coaches, Gundy, and one of my least favorite OCDC combinations. And Gundy's freak, dude. He's freak. I mean, the grades of his OC and DC, even after winning a bunch of games last year, are still terrible. I mean, it's smoke and mirrors. I don't know how Mike Gundy does it. I mean, you can almost put him and Leach in the same bucket. It's like, just give them 22 guys. They'll figure out how to win. Right? They don't even need coaches. It's nuts. But this one, talent-wise, very, very even. Okay? 33 versus 36. And this one's at Oklahoma State. So I lean State in that one. But the best overall play caller in this game is Bobby Petrino. So you got the best individual coach versus the best head coach in the game. But the line on this one's pretty big, isn't it? I remember seeing
7.5.
Oklahoma State 7.5. Ooh, pushing up to 8. I see an 8 up there as well. You might be able to get 8.5 out of this thing. It opened at 8.5. It got pushed down. It's bouncing back towards 8.5. Pretty even talent. Pretty even coaching overall. I still think Oklahoma State's going to win this, but if I'm betting this one, I'm taking Arkansas plus 8 right now on the board.
Okay. And over-under, does it do anything for you, 62.5?
The 62.5, no, it doesn't, because you have weaker coaches on both sides of this. If I'm it's at 62.5. I'd like to be over if it was in the mid-50s.
Okay.
Right? I mean, this is an offensive-leaning game. Petrino's better than their DC. Their OC is better than Arkansas's DC. It leans over, but you're already at an over number at 62.5. That's a pretty big number. I would still lean if you're saying I got to make a bet, I'm still leaning over 62.5, but I'd rather have that number in the 50s. Give me some more wiggle room. I think the best bet on this one is Arkansas plus 8 right now.
All right. Before I get to South Carolina at Kentucky and Texas at Michigan, Ole Miss fans are getting mad that I'm not talking enough about them. And the reason is it's a compliment, because I expect them to just walk through this schedule until they get to LSU. So they got 4 non-cons, Kentucky at home at South Carolina. But I'm just going to ask you, this is such a mismatch, but I want to ask you about the over-under. Middle Tennessee at Ole Miss, so it's minus 41, but the over-under is 63.5. And neither one of those may do anything for you. Just had to ask.
No, minus 41. There's recency bias in everybody's brains right now because Ole Miss racked up so many points last weekend. Middle Tennessee, and the total is let me look at this real
63.5, and Derek Mason is their head coach.
63.5. I know Derek Mason's their head coach. That's why I have a pause here, because Derek is a really, really smart defensive head coach. Okay. Ole Miss is probably going to cover this thing, right? But is it going to be 45-0? Can we get to 63? I think that's the real difficulty there is trying to Yeah, it is. Those numbers are so far out there with 41.5. But that means they're projecting a. That means they're projecting a 40, basically a 42-21 football game.
Mm.
I don't think Middle Tennessee is going to be scoring 21.
No. No.
No, I don't. I really don't. I believe. The thing is with Ole Miss, everybody loves the offense and Dart and Kiffin, and I don't blame them. Kiffin is a top 10 OC and very very good head coach. But I think lost in all this is Pete Golding is still really damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't they pitch a shutout last weekend?
Yeah, 76-0.
See, on this one, I think Middle Tennessee will slow it down. I think this is going to be more on the defensive end. If I had to pick something here, if I'm leaning something, I'm leaning under 63.5 because of Mason turning it into more of a defensive game. But because Pete's so good, I don't think Middle Tennessee should be scoring much either. I don't have a whole lot of faith in their OC in that ball game. And so I think Ole Miss, I'd lean them covering in this thing. But I believe I'll lean under as well. I think it's going to be more defensive than offensive from that standpoint. Let me look at Ole Miss offense. Yeah, see, the offensive coordinator for Middle Tennessee, 58.921, low 3-star OC, going up against a near 4-star DC. That's a huge mismatch. But then you have a 4.5-star OC in Lane going up against. Yeah, I'm going under and cover. I'll leave the points.
56-3.
Yeah, give me 48-3, right? Give me 56-7. There we go. 56-7, dude. Closes the line closes at 63.5, and it finishes a half a point under. But I just Mason being so good defensively, trying to slow the game down. I think that's really going to be more of the effect on the total. But I wouldn't be betting against Ole Miss not covering against a new staff and this team on the road right now.
All right, Cal, Dave Bartoo, Show Me the Money, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Bet $50 there at the sportsbook. Play Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $40. Cal at Auburn. The line is Auburn -13. Auburn -13 at Auburn. And the over-under is 53.5.
Cal sucks, right? I mean, this is Cal sucks. And, they lost their offensive coordinator last year. The only thing that has been good for Cal in the Justin or in the Josh Wilcox era has been the offense last year, and he left. So I just don't have a whole lot of faith in Cal, and Auburn's kicking this thing off in the heat of the day to just try to melt Colorado right into the turf there. You're talking about the number 18 recruiter going up against number 71.
Woo! Jackson
71,
Meadows.
Right? Right? I mean, so this is a massive mismatch. You have offense. You got Hugh, near 4.5-star offensive play caller.
Yeah, he's outstanding.
Going up against going up against Peter Sermon. Oh my God. Man, I'm not even allowed to say that out loud without getting a felony charge in the state of Mississippi anymore.
How is he still there?
Dude, that's nepotism. It's buddies. Remember, Josh and Peter played together at the Ducks. Right? So obviously Cal don't care about football, which they don't. Right? Fans don't care about football. They don't care if they win or lose. And Sermon is below average. And you have an offensive coordinator that's below average going up against a 4-star DC and a near 4.5-star OC. I like Auburn to win and cover in that ball game. The total 53.5. Don't like that.
Okay.
It's just right in the middle. I don't got to lean either way on that one. But and then the first half is only -7, -6.5. I see a bet up there right now. I see -6.5. I like Auburn winning. I like them covering first half. I like them covering for the game. I think that is a really big talent, not only talent disparity, there is a massive coaching disparity, and they're at home. I think Auburn rolls it up big against Cal this Saturday.
All right, I'm heading to Pearl River today. I'm doing a show there tomorrow. I'm betting Auburn when I get there. All right, Dave Bartoo, Diamond Dave on the Out of Bounds show, picking winners, and number 18 talent against number 71 talent in Cal at Auburn. And Dave's right. And we talked to Cohen about this last month when he was on the show. It's a 2:30 kick. It's going to be nice and sizzly for the Cal Bears that are located right outside of San Francisco. Okay, South Carolina at Kentucky. Before I get to the last one, the 40-ounce ribeye, it may not be for betting, but Texas and Michigan is where we'll go.
Oh, we're betting that one, baby, because somebody's getting their ass kicked in that game.
South
Carolina, Kentucky. What's the first thing I think of? Dude, nobody's going to score, right? I mean, these offensive coordinators, neither one are any good. So this is going to be a defensive game. That's the first thing I was thinking of, right? When I saw that one up there, and I'm like, okay, what's the total? And without even looking at it, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be like Iowa State. This total is going to be in the 30s. Kentucky's favored by 10, and the total on this one is, come on, click.
42.5.
42.5. Oh my gosh.
That's pitiful.
Yeah, to be under, I want to be in the 50s. So I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't like either OC for either one of these teams. I do like the DCs. I think Clayton White is solid. Obviously, Brad at Kentucky is one of the best in the country. So I really see this as a defensive football game. Offensively, I'm trying to look through the chart here to see where Kentucky's OC lands in this ball game. Why am I having a hard time finding him? Kentucky. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Kentucky's is bad too. Yeah, this is. I hate to say it, I'd lean under 42.5. This is a defensive coordinator dominant game, and so I think these two are just going to bludgeon each other. Now that also comes into play on the plus and minus 10. This being a close football game. Kentucky wins, right? Kentucky's going to win at home. So talent-wise, this is 24 versus 41. So I'm easily taking Kentucky at home. But because of the defensive orientation on this game, double-digit points, that is a lot for me to stomach in a defensive game. So we'll go Kentucky win, South Carolina plus 10. I don't like it, but if I have to bet, I'm going under 42.5 because I just don't trust either one of these OCs.
Okay. All right, so this will be a garbage game, 2017, 21-20, 21-17. Bartoo's thinking under, maybe even lower than that.
Yeah, like a 24-16 Kentucky, right? It'll be right there in that 10 range.
Okay.
Beat them by 8, beat them by 9. I just don't like two scores, right?
Okay.
It's too much for a defensive game. Basically we're asking Kentucky to score with a bad OC going up against a better DC, or we're asking the same as South Carolina. So, honestly, I'd stay off of this game, other than just Kentucky win it at home. But those are my leans that I'm looking at in the numbers right now.
All right, Dave Bartoo on the Out of Bounds show. Show me the money, baby. Week 2, college football, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Here we go. Texas at Michigan. Now, Jackson's been talking about this game the last 24 hours. Texas at Michigan, 11 a.m. kickoff on Fox. Texas minus 7.5, and the over/under is 42.5. Bartoo.
Oh, well, no, I'm not, the 42.5. Yeah, I'm going to be over on that. I'm going to be over on the 42.5. Back to the 7.5. It opened at 5.5. It jacked up. But they played last year. Here, I think there's going to be some recency bias here because they played last year. But Michigan had the highest graded coach on the field. He's gone, and their OC's gone, and their DC's gone, and their entire offense is gone. And what Michigan has replaced all those guys with is, they still have a good defense, but their defensive coordinator was below average in the NFL. Their offensive coordinator has called plays for a year, and it was average. Sharon Moore has coached one football game. And so when I look at this thing, you got an offensive coordinator advantage, you got a defensive coordinator advantage, you got a special teams coordinator advantage, you got an emotional advantage coming off of last year. And to me, everything for me points Texas win and cover. So you can jack this thing up to 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5. I mean, until it gets to double digits, I'm not even blinking on this. I think Texas absolutely rolls in this game. And 42.5, man, I just think that's too low of a number when you're dealing with one of the top 5 offensive coordinators in the country, right? I mean, can you imagine a game right now where Lane Kiffin is the offensive coordinator and it's at 42.5?
No.
Right? Right. So why are you imagining a game with Steve Sarkisian at 42.5? I mean, Lincoln Riley at 42.5. Right? I mean, it's such a low number. There is no way I can fathom going under on 42.5 against Steve Sarkisian.
Okay.
Can't do it. Right? So I'll double down on this thing. Win and cover for Texas and over 42.5. Of all the games that we've talked about on totals, I think that one that we've discussed today, I think that one is my favorite in it. So and like I said, I'm leaning blowout in this one. I think Michigan gets smoked in this football game.
Hey, I've got like a minute and a half real quick. I don't think I hit this. Tennessee, NC State, and Charlotte. Did I hit that, Jackson? Okay. Tennessee, NC State, in Charlotte. Tennessee -8, Bartoo, and the over/under is 60.5.
Geez, man. I'm off on everything on this one, right? I wouldn't bet this one at all, just because you have an awesome defensive coordinator in Tony Gibson going up against an awesome offensive coordinator in Josh Heupel. Again, Josh Heupel, would you bet over if it was at 42.5? Oh, hell yeah, right? But you have great versus great, and then you have slightly above average in Inge at OC, slightly above average in DC at Banks. And so I think from a coaching standpoint, it all cancels each other. I think it leans a little bit towards Josh Heupel as the best overall coordinator on the field. And certainly Tennessee has much better talent, but where is this game? Not in Tennessee. It's on the road. So I just don't like any play in this game, other than I do believe Tennessee is going to pull this out. I think they're going to win. Now, whether it's big and cover or small and not cover, that's where I just kind of go in between here, because you got two really good head coaches as well, because Doran at NC State knows how to win football games. So to me, this one is, let's just sit back and watch it. I do not have a bet on that one.
Okay. Bartoo.
But I will give you one that I have a bet. One parting shot.
Oh, hell yeah.
Iowa -3. Iowa upgraded their OC and has the best special teams, DC and OC on the field. Iowa State, lesser talent on the road, they don't have a special teams coordinator. They have a terrible OC, and I love catching 3 or leaving 3 at home for Iowa this weekend.
Boom. Iowa -3, and they upgraded their OC. Dave Bartoo, Diamond Dave, show me the money. Powered by Pearl River Resort. Bet $50 at the sportsbook. Play award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $40. And while you're playing golf or making the bet, enjoy an ice-cold Stella Artois. Thanks, Bartoo. See you, dude.
Take it easy, brother.